There's something different about Southern Europe. The streets feel alive. Dinner lasts for hours. People still gather outside at night, and somehow life feels slower there, more human. Somewhere along the way, the modern world became incredibly efficient, but it also became strangely empty. People spend more time alone, cities feel colder, life feels optimized, but not necessarily human anymore. And then you arrive somewhere like Spain, or Italy, or Portugal, and suddenly people are outside again, talking, laughing, living. Dinner lasts for hours. Strangers speak to each other. Cities feel alive. And for a moment, you start wondering, did Southern Europe preserve something that the rest of the modern world lost? In much of the modern world, life became increasingly private. You wake up alone, drive alone, work inside silent buildings, order food through apps, exercise wearing headphones, return home exhausted, and repeat the same routine the next day. Modern life became incredibly convenient, but convenience has a hidden cost. It slowly removes friction. And friction used to create human interaction, small conversations, unexpected encounters, moments of spontaneity, moments of presence. But Southern Europe evolved differently. Its cities were built before cars, before algorithms, before productivity culture consumed everyday life. They were built around people, around plazas, around cafes, around walking, around conversation, around accidental encounters. In cities like Barcelona or Rome, you constantly cross paths with other human beings. You hear conversations from balconies. You see old friends greeting each other in the street. Children still play outside late into the evening. Elderly people sit in public squares for hours, simply watching life happen. And maybe that changes people more than we realize. Because humans were never designed to live entirely indoors or entirely online. Southern Europe still feels physical. Life happens in the streets, in cafes, at the beach, around dinner tables, inside public squares full of noise, movement, and emotion. Society still feels visible there, and that feeling has become surprisingly rare. Southern Europe also operates at a completely different rhythm. Not slower because people are lazy, slower because life itself is treated differently. In many modern societies, efficiency became the highest virtue. Everything must be optimized. Faster transportation, faster communication, faster delivery, faster productivity, faster lives. But eventually a strange thing happened. People became more productive than ever before, and somehow less present. In the Mediterranean, life is still allowed to breathe. Lunch can last 2 hours. Coffee is not something you grab on the way to somewhere else. Dinner starts late. Conversations drift without urgency. People stay outside deep into the night. Time there feels less transactional. Southern Europe also never fully abandoned beauty. Not luxury, beauty. Beautiful streets, beautiful cafes, beautiful apartments, beautiful public spaces. Even ordinary life there often feels cinematic, and humans respond deeply to beauty, even when they pretend not to. Modern urban life often prioritizes pure functionality, But Southern Europe still understands something ancient. The environment shapes the soul. When daily life happens in beautiful places, people themselves begin to live differently. Slower, softer, more expressive, more social. Here's the strange paradox. Southern Europe is not the richest part of the Western world, and yet, many visitors leave feeling that people there are somehow more alive, more present, more emotionally connected to daily life. Because beyond a certain point, quality of life is not only about income, it's about rhythm, community, sunlight, walkability, beauty, human interaction. For centuries, life in Southern Europe evolved around climate, density, and public space. Warm weather pushed life outdoors. Cities were built for walking long before cars existed. Public squares became extensions of daily life itself. And maybe that changes people more than we realize. Across the world, people are becoming more connected digitally and more disconnected physically. Loneliness is rising. Cities are becoming less social. Public life is disappearing. But humans still crave physical presence, a life lived outside, a culture built around presence, a society where social interaction is woven naturally into everyday life itself. Maybe that's why so many people romanticize places like Spain, Italy, Portugal, or Greece. They are not simply chasing sunshine or aesthetics. They are searching for something profoundly human that modern life quietly removed. A life that feels lived instead of managed. Maybe the future doesn't belong only to the most technologically advanced cities. Maybe it also belongs to places that remember how humans are actually supposed to live. Places where life is still social, physical, emotional, beautiful. Because in the end, people rarely remember the most optimized moments of their lives. They remember the feeling of being alive, the warmth of a summer night, the sound of conversations echoing through old streets, long dinners with no urgency, the feeling of walking through a city that still feels human. And few places in the modern world still protect that feeling, quite like Southern Europe.